everyone, welcome to another video for assignmentsofstamp.com. Today we're going to be using this 6x6 pad from Studio Calico. This is from the Heyday collection. And I'm also going to be doing lots of die cutting just with my Big Shot machine and a few different dies, and also something that's not a die but you can still use in your die cutting machine. Before we get to die cutting, I need to score and fold my card base. This is 120 pound ultra thick cardstock, so I'm going to use my scoring board and my stylus, and I'm just going to score it at 4 1/4. And that's just going to help it fold and not crack on the folds. So I'm going to start with this little piece of pattern paper here, and I'm going to cut it with this die from My Favorite Things. It's the, let's see, I think this the large scallop from the Simply Scallops line that they have. This is just going to go on the edge of the card, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. I'm going to try to salvage as much as I can of this pattern paper, so I'm just going to put it on the end here. So this really cute little scallop shape. So I'll set that aside. So I have my card base here, and what I'm going to do is I'm taking this die from Memory Box, and this cardstock's a little bit too thick and I wasn't able to get my die to cut through it cleanly, so I'm going to go with that and I'm going to have it emboss instead. So I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to get it placed exactly on the card front where I want it, and then I'm using a little tiny bit of washi tape, and this is just going to hold it in place while I run it through the machine. There's 2 little pieces of tape. Alright, and then this is going, I'm going to put this face down on one of my cutting pads. And then I'm taking the silicone rubber mat. It attracts all sorts of dust, but that won't matter. Putting that down over top. I have the black impression plate. I think that's what it's called. I'm also working on no tabs as well, just so you know. And then I'm taking one more piece of cardstock. This is just going to give it just a little bit of extra, oomph when it's getting that impression. So now I'm just going to run this through. Alright, so I'm just going to take this off. Okay, so I have this really cool texture. It looks really cool on the other side too if you wanted to use that side. So I'm going to set this aside and do one more embossing thing. And what the embossing, like the reason why you can emboss is because you use the little rubber mat. So if you want to try embossing with other wafer thin dies, you just need the mat. So I'm taking this little strip of pattern paper from that 6x6 pad, and I'm going to use a Studio Calico mask for this. I thought it would just be kind of fun. So I'm going to put this down, and I'm going to cut down the paper later so it doesn't matter if it's not completely straight on there. Put the rubber mat down, the black impression pad, and then that same sheet of paper I had before, I'm just going to put that in as well. I'm just going to run this through. This one should go through a little bit easier. And then we're left with this really fun texture that mimics the texture on the other piece of cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a piece for our sentiment now. I'm going to use this small die from the frame cuts from Hero Arts. This is the F frame cuts. I'm using just a little piece of 120 pound white cardstock. Alright, and then we have our little strip to stamp our sentiment on. Okay, now it's time to assemble everything. I'm going to take this little strip that I've cut down, and it's going to go right there. I'm going to go ahead and put adhesive on the back. Alright, and then I'm going to put this scallop right here on that end as well. I also have a little tiny strip of pattern paper that I'm going to put right over that seam right there. So I'm going to go ahead and use some Tombow Mono Multi Glue just because it can get a really thin line. I'm going to put it straight on the card right along that seam. Alright, I'm going to do white dashed lines along this brown piece here. I'm going to round the corners with my We Are Memory Keepers corner chomper. Alright, now I'm going to stamp the sentiment. I'm using Colorbox Fluid Chalk Ink and Charcoal, and I'm using this stamp set from Paper Smooches. This is the Sentiment Sampler. We have our little Warm Thoughts sentiment. Alright, I was going to have this be a portrait card, but after seeing how this would look right over here, I think it would look super cute right in that little section. It looks like it's perfect for it. So I'm going to go ahead and use some dimensional adhesive, just some foam adhesive to put that down. Alright, and there's the card for today. I hope you guys can see all of the embossing on that, all the different texture. Just a really fun card. Lots of die cutting. So we have a die cutting machine. It's time to break it out and make some cards with it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching.